Hello, I am Gilles Mancillon. I send greetings and blessings. I thank you for tuning in, for all your likes, for your sharing, for your comments, for your interactions, for subscribing. I really enjoy all those interactions, because eventually this internet, the internet is wonderful because it is a world, it is a means by which to unify the world, because the whole world is using the same internet, more or less. But eventually we're going to be moving into more collective work, so it is coming soon. For now, we're going to have Mars and Saturn that will be trine, so our wheel will be flowing more in the direction that we wish. We just passed through an eclipse. I personally had one day that was quite difficult. I felt like back into a wave of judgment and culpability, and so to question my self-worth. But I quickly realized that those were just things not to be, that I needed to be experienced, so that I can move beyond that. For guilt and remorse are not worthy of the children of God, for we are creator, our essence is love, and so it is our true nature, so we have no need for anything that is not connected to love. So the idea also to when any of those things happen, or if we have a hard time meditating or going to sleep, is because our mind is quite solicited, and the key to understanding, in order to get a good night's sleep or to be able to meditate, is to understand that the past and the future are, it is the past and the future that make us stressed or fearful, or anything, because in the present they cannot never be, that cannot happen. So the idea is to understand that the past is just an idea. It is only what we remember of that, and the future is the same thing. It is a projection. None of it is real. It is only in the now, but the now will unfold into the future and move from the past. But those things have so it is the ability to not hold on to anything from the past, to be in the silence as much as possible, so we can feel the love. For love has always been here. We are always surrounded by divine love. I talked in my last reading about romantic love. For love, romantic love is wonderful. I love romance, but divine love is even superior. For it does not. It just adds to the romance. And as we move into ever-increasing octaves of love, we are able to share that with intimate partners. And so personally, I have my North Node of the Moon in my natal chart in Cancer. So most of what I need to discover, the best fulfillment in my life, will be around home, family, relationship, the feeling side of light, intimacy. When I have the South Node of the Moon in Capricorn, so that means that those are what we had in the past life, so which is more about material success. Those are the South Node of the Moon is what we have already acquired, achieved in past life. And so if you may already know that, but the North and South nodes of the Moon are maybe some of the most important thing in your astrological chart, because they give you the direction of your incarnation, where the North Node is where you will find the fulfillment. And the South Node, maybe those things you need to let go from the past. So you may want to look at this and see what it reveals. As far as I can tell, life is best when it's lived moment by moment, living the now of the one. From there, much can be discovered, accomplished, because the I Am presence is the revealer of all meaning and value. It knows anything about us, but it brings it into perspective. And so, when we become aware of something, it is because we're progressing. The more we are progressing, the more can be revealed within our consciousness. The less we are afraid of experimenting. For we have to get into the learning of moving into the flow. Sometimes the energies are enjoyable, emotionally or physically or psychologically, or sometimes it's pleasant, sometimes it's unpleasant. What we need to learn is when it's unpleasant, not to resist it and not to judge it, so that we shorten the time of that experience and it transmutes into consciousness. Yet when things feel really good in life, we will learn to make those moments last very much longer time. So it is about managing and directing the flow to be the wholeness navigator within yourself. I've already talked about this, but it's 3 quick angelic exercises. The first one is that if you feel like you ever have a baggage, something you want to get rid of, call on the angels. They are divine beings of lights, and so you call on them and you give them this. An angel shows up. You invite an angel shows up, you give him or her your baggage, your load, and so you can keep it for you until you want to look in it if you want, but if you don't want it, you will just vaporize it and it's gone. The second thing is another exercise I've already presented. It's something that the Archangel Michael offered many years ago, and it's something that you need to repeat regularly. It is to imagine yourself in a dark room with a white light above you, and you realize that you are completely covered like a mummy, with all kinds of you're completely entrapped in this cloth, and this cloth comes from the judgment of others. So you invite an angel. The angel comes in with a magic scissors. He cuts through all the cords, and you imagine all those cords, all the judgment returning to the people that judge you. Do not judge them for having judged you. And then finally the angel takes on a tuning fork and he aligns your chakras one after the other, so the pillar of light is clear and you feel more free to experience all the wonderful gift that life brings each and every day. It is very much about being able to move things from the breath, because the breath is really the key, the most. As I started smoking long when I was young, and so even when I quit, it is still difficult. I feel I'm a little handicapped in life, or I know life is the truth is within the breath, but as smokers, we feel like we have a handicap. And so I'm working on cleansing that up. I know that will happen, but it does take a while. I'm going to pull out a few cards for the Osho deck. And so the first card is the general situation, and it is the creator. It is finding your inner power, finding our inner power, our center, and finding this state of empowerment where we feel like we are able to move the flow of our creation. How do we move from healing, from appearance into healing? Through this ascended consciousness. It is the Buddha, it is the revelation of that higher truth that is above the emotion, that is pure clarity, pure awakening, pure. It is also a sort of light that you need when we discover a truth. We cannot compromise with the darkness. So whatever you meet that is dark, you want to find a way to make it right. You have to work on things. You have to participate in this healing and this cleansing, and use your higher consciousness, this sort of consciousness, this clarity of mind to help others find the lucidity within whatever is being presented. Then what does life brings to us? It is a rebirth. So that means we have been able to face our deepest fear. Life is showing us that fear was an illusion. We do have to face the fear in order to release it. For as long as we believe in its power, it will have a hold on us, and it will prevent us from being loving and free and enjoying our life. Once we allow this experience to happen, we release all our everything that we fear the most. There is, in truth, we are all protected. So just as we understand that, the more the protection can come into place. For divine perfection, divine love is the most powerful protection you can ever found. So it is, and even then, when you invoke that divine presence, you're just doing it without. You don't do it because you're afraid and you're seeking protection, or you just do it because that is awakening who you are. For we are this I am presence. This is our true self, and this true self is far more magnificent than whatever we can imagine. I know I have had glimpses into higher realms, but I know there is so much more for me to discover. an experience. So once we face our deepest fear, we find playfulness. It is a clown that's moving in the sky and expanding all those slides. So it is about being playful, about enjoying our life, about being light-hearted, not to take things too seriously, and so not to be too intransigent, so that we can pass through things with grace and ease. What others are bringing to the situation is awareness. It is about being able to move forward, to open our vision center, to open our higher. It is the chariot. It is the light body. It is the activation. And so this is the others are helping, assisting. The whole world is assisting us, you, me, in gaining this awareness. For life is just a big mirror. It is just an extension of source, the source that you are. All life is managed from within, and in essence, the God of you is you. You are the soul is the divine soul, is the eternal God that is the extension of the eternal God that makes this life, that is invested in this life. And so we have to integrate more of that soul energy, that pure soul energy. Then what do we bring to the others? What is it we bring to the situation? What is the gift we bring? We bring deep transformation. Those deep transformation are helped by Pluto. It's a deep transformation that is, the idea is not to resist, not to fight the change, to trust and to allow the change to happen. For through the transformation, he's becoming a lot more than he was before. And the essence, the outcome of that is to understand the outsider. So the outsider is to realize that if we are not able to pass through the door, it is not because the door is locked, for the door is not locked. If you look at it closer, you'll see the door is not locked. It's just we have to open the door. We have to use the key. We have to, or if we don't have the key, we just knock on the door and the door will open. So it is not about contemplating the world from the sideline. It is about getting more involved and following the guidance. For the guidance will lead us home, will lead us to wisdom and happiness and joy. The more we are able to align with that flow. Well, I hope this reading was interesting for you. I wanted to pass by and say hello. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.